What's going on, fellas? It's your man, point guard, Stephen Bardo, coming back to you. Welcome to Next Chapter Forward. We're going to get into it today. Africa versus Mexico. Why I made the right choice and why South Africa proves this right now. There is a lot going on in the country of South Africa right now. There's some xenophobia that has kind of hit parts of the country. And it's really unfortunate, but I want you to pay attention to this news story. I'm going to play a little bit of this. We'll come back and get into the discussion, okay? Hold on. Let me get this going. All right, here we go.
Hi, guys. If you're planning on going to South Africa anytime soon for vacation, for a conference, for anything at all, you may want to rethink because, once again, they are attacking Black Africans. And I like to say up front that not all South Africans are xenophobic. Not all South Africans hate other Black immigrants. But many of them still believe that Black immigrants are the cause of their problem. And you know the worst part? This isn't new. This happens almost every year now. And every time that it happens, the same story is what we keep hearing. That Black immigrants in South Africa are the problem. And that the Black immigrants are stealing their jobs, bringing drugs, taking their housing, overwhelming the system. But let's pause for a second and actually look at the numbers because numbers don't lie. Black immigrants in South Africa make up about 4% of their population. That's roughly 2.5 million people. All these Black immigrants that they are talking about, they're about 2.5 million in a country of about 65 million. So you have to ask yourself, how can 4% of the population really be the root of a country's problem?
Okay, guys, you heard her say it, right? And I thought she was spot on. How can so few people be the issue with what Black South Africans feel is the issue? So, guys, think about this for a second. You are a Black American, and you're going to travel and relocate to South Africa. You've heard great things about the country. You've made a couple visits. You know this is where you want to be. And then you wake up and xenophobia is running through the country. You guys saw the video just now with the groups of people who are dressed in war apparel, like they're going to war. They're hunting other Black people. Think about that, guys. So, you're in the United Snakes of America. You have to deal with everything that comes along with being a copper-colored or indigenous Black person in the United States. And then you think you found your dream location in South Africa, and there are now other Black people, other Black South Africans that don't want you there. Now, first off, guys, we know who's behind this. Anytime there's stuff like there's this type of activity where Black people are being pitted against each other, it's not Black people who are creating it. It's not. We know that. This is an old playbook. There's something else behind this. But the outcome is that now Black people who aren't South African of origin, now you're under attack. Okay? So the thing of it is, man, like I can't fathom me, I'm single, but even me taking all my stuff and going halfway around the world and thinking that I'm in a place of safety. I'm in a place where I don't have to worry about the people of European descent back in the United Snakes of America because of all the stuff that we've had to go through. Now I come to South Africa and I got to deal with Black people that look like me, that don't want me there, that are resentful, that say I'm taking away their jobs. Guys, that's, and here's the thing. I'm not knocking it. I get it. I've been to Africa 4 times. Ghana twice, Nigeria, and Senegal. And I'm going to East Africa next, Tanzania, Kenya, Uganda. I want to check out East Africa next, right? So the dream is strong, guys. I'm not knocking that. For those of you that still believe that we were brought from Africa on slave ships into America, then this is a really strong pull for you. This is the majority of Black Americans and copper-colored indigenous people of America. A lot of us still think that we came from Africa on slave ships. I'm not of that mindset. But if you are, the pull to come back to Africa is extremely strong. I get it, guys. I went to the slave dungeons in Ghana, in the Cape Coast, and I went to the slave dungeon in Senegal, which they've made into basically an amusement park, which is very disturbing. I've been to those places. I've done the research. I've studied. The pull is there. But I'll be damned if I'm going to leave one hot place and find myself in another hot place based on the color of my skin. That's not acceptable to me. And here's the truth, guys. This is gonna hurt a little bit. But you're an American in Africa, not an African American in their eyes. They don't view you as one of them. They don't. Okay? They view us as rich foreigners to price gouge, to exploit, and they have resentment built up against us because it looks like we have all this and they don't have much. That's the reality of it, guys. So understand it, because South Africa is kind of hot right now, and it's not really, in my opinion, a good place to think about relocating. And if you remember what one of the things the lady said in her report at the beginning of this video, was that this happens almost every year, guys. So if there's a period where a fervor rises of anti-immigration, of anti-Black immigration every year, then I need to rethink having South Africa as one of the countries that I'm encouraging brothers to look at. Because if this happens every year, then I need to go find some brothers on the boots on the ground, some Black people from America that have immigrated into South Africa. I need to find them, because I wonder if they're being directly affected, like some of the Nigerians, Ghanaians, Zimbabweans, and Ethiopians that I've seen, who are being harassed, who are being physically restrained, who are being beaten. Now, I didn't see any Black Americans. I haven't seen any Black Americans on the video yet. But I'm of the same mindset that when I'm back in the United States, the people who are targeting us, they're not making a differentiation between Haitians and Black Americans. They don't know the difference. They see Black people. Okay. I don't know if these people who are really upset that are they coming after Black Americans? I'm not sure about that. But on the surface, guys, it looks like that's not the place to be right now. Okay. There are other similar countries, even Kenya, where I want to go and visit. Even they have had issues. If you follow this young brother named Austin Holloman, I've been following Austin for years. He does a really good job, and he gets thrown in with the mix of passport bros, but I find him to be a little bit different. And he's had people try to exploit him and come at him in Kenya, where he set up shop. Like, he moved to Kenya. Like, he's got a place. He's got connections. He set up businesses in Kenya, and he gets harassed. So I'm not sure right now, guys, that anywhere on the continent of Africa is safe, will provide safety, will provide a level of respect that you're looking for, a level of clarity moving forward about the visa process. That's a whole nother ball game with some of these African countries. Okay. So, I'll say this, that here in Mexico, why I think that I made the right choice for right now is there is no Operation Dudula. Operation Dudula is these South African black people trying to hunt down other black foreigners. There's nothing like that in Mexico. Okay. When I walk outside my building, guys, I'm safe. I'm respected. I don't get harassed by the police. I actually have, me and my son were out yesterday and we were having conversations with the police officers. They're teaching us how to say certain things in Spanish. We're asking them about this place that got shut down. They're explaining to us what's going on. We're communicating, like we're having conversation with the police. Can you do that in the United States? Can you do that in South Africa or Kenya? I don't know, because I've not been to Kenya or South Africa yet. I plan to go, but I haven't heard black Americans saying that they have great relations with the police anywhere. But here in Mexico, you can actually have conversations like a real person with the police. I did it yesterday. Okay. That's the difference. That's why my decision that I made, I think is right for me at this point. Okay. Mexico provides a clear path to citizenship, temporary residency. Their tourist visas are very clear cut. There's no ambiguity. You don't have to pay a visa or some special entrance fee to get into Mexico. You don't have to do that. In some countries in Africa, you have to pay a fee to get in. Think about that. You're an American citizen going back home, supposedly, and you have to pay some kind of fee to get into the country. And is there a clear path to residency? Not a lot of the African countries that I've researched. There's a clear path to residency here in Mexico for U.S. citizens. Okay. All right. Now, and then you might say, well, there's racism in Mexico. Yeah, I call it colorism, because there are no entities. There are no Ku Klux Klan. There's no Project 2025. There's no Heritage Foundation here in Mexico that wakes up and gets paid to find ways to handcuff, to disenfranchise black people. Mexico doesn't have that. There's nobody waking up in the morning setting their agenda to the demise of black people. There's nothing like that here in Mexico. Yes, there's colorism. Yes, there's even racism. Okay. But the police aren't setting out to harass you. They're not setting up stings to arrest black people to fill those data centers. Yeah, right. So listen, guys, I get it. If your goal is psychological freedom, cultural connection, Africa definitely has power, right? It definitely has power. But if your goal is to stop being exhausted, to lower your cholesterol, you need safety, you need stability, and you need a clear path. Right now, South Africa doesn't present that. Certain countries in Africa right now, they don't present that. Mexico presents that, fellas, and it's right next door. When you're flying to Africa, you're flying literally halfway around the world. You can't get back like quick. If something drops, something happens at the crib, it's going to take you a couple days, best case scenario, to get back. If you're in Mexico and something jumps off at home in the United States, you can get back literally the next day, even possibly that same day, possibly. You can't do that from Africa. Okay. So there are things that afford me the ability to get back into the United States and get back out very quickly. That's a lot more difficult to do right now in Africa, coming back and forth, especially guys with the way gas prices are elevating. Jet fuel prices are going to skyrocket, which are going to increase the tickets. So your proximity to the United States may be of some value during this times of uncertainty with the World War III that is underway. Okay. So these are things that you got to think about, guys. These are things that I think about all the time. And this is why I have started Next Chapter Forward. Now, if you want to be a part of Next Chapter Forward, go get your global scouting report. It's in my bio, or you can screenshot this URL and it will take you right to the global scouting report. It's 8 questions. It takes 2 minutes. It gives you a score of your readiness to relocate. You're either a dreamer, a planner, a packer, or you're ready to relocate. Okay. It's a very easy thing to do, very quick quiz, and you will like the readings and the results of your test scores. It will give you some feedback on where you are in terms of relocating. Now, you can also type free throw 15 in the comments. I come back and check these out often. So type in free throw 15 or screenshot this URL, and you can schedule a free 15-minute call with yours truly. We go over your situation, and then at the end of the call, I give you some suggestions, or I give you an opportunity to either go with the country clarity call or the transformation package, where I work with you one-on-one for 12 weeks, and I get you from point A to point Z in your country of your desire where you want to relocate. Okay? So you have 2 choices. Get your global scouting report or type free throw 15 in the comments, or you can go to my bio and you can find the link there as well. Okay? And these are 2 ways that you can get into the Next Chapter Forward community, because guys, we are growing. We're a network of Black men over 50 who are starting to relocate around the world and really starting to find our next chapter to be ones that we want to write. Not that someone else writes for us, that we have sovereignty as Black men, right? We have sovereignty. Okay. I'm a point guard. I'm a championship leader, and I'm a sovereign Black man. I want that for you. Okay. That's what Next Chapter Forward is all about. This is what we're doing, guys. We're not chasing who we were. We're building who we want to become. That's the essence of Next Chapter Forward. And I want you, brothers, to be a part of it. Do me a favor. If this video resonated with you, send it to one brother. I don't need you to send it to a bunch. Pick one brother that you know this information will resonate with, and send this to them, please. Let's grow this thing, right? Like, share, and subscribe this video on YouTube. It helps the channel grow. It helps it get out to more brothers like yourselves. I'm a conduit, guys. I'm a point guard. I played 10 years of professional basketball. I was the point guard on the Flying Illini, one of the best teams in college basketball history. I've been a winner in every step of the way. And I want to help you become a winner in your next chapter. If you're fed up with the way the United States is treating you, if you know there's something better, then go get your global scouting report or type free throw 15 in the comments, and I'll welcome you into Next Chapter Forward. Okay? You guys have a great rest of your week. If you have any questions, hit the comments. I come back to these daily. I will answer your questions or your comments, and let's get it going. Okay? Thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate you guys. And until next time, holla, y'all.